Today, we're going to go over the fastest way to become well read. And there is no shortcut. You just have to pick up the books, you have to get through them. But how can we get the most bang for our buck? How can we really retain what we read? How can we be able to recite it? How can we be able to remember it? And that's what we talk about today. And I also just need to preface, I'm not that well read. I probably read 1,000 books, 2,000 books in my life. That's a lot more than most people, but there's certainly people that make that look like nothing. So I think it's a relative term, but let's just go off the premise of we want to read a lot of books. How can we remember it? How can we allow these books to become part of our psyche, become part of our subconscious, and affect our lives and affect it for the better? And that's what we're going to tackle today. We can get over the semantics of what it takes to be well read another day. And I was going to make this into a much longer video where I was going to talk about books that you need to be reading and ideas that really need to be focused on, but I think I'm going to make that part of a series. I don't think I have the time and energy and effort today to recite maybe 5 hours of video. So yeah, we're just going to get into the secret, the shortcut, whatever you want to call it. And really what I want you to start understanding is when you read books, there's only so many ideas. There's only so many things that can be done. And even the experimental things, there's only so much you can do. So like when we talk about experimental fiction, like just read James Joyce and you know what it's about. When you talk about stream of consciousness, James Joyce. When you talk about philosophy, everything comes back to Plato versus Aristotle in their idea of forms. And what I'm really saying here is that when you read books, start picking up on themes. Start understanding the things that overlap between all these different genres, between all these different authors, between all these different books. See their influences, see the names that they recite, and start to just pigeonhole that. Start to just take that into your memory and start to understand that these people are all tracing their lineage back to a certain idea, a certain mind, and then go study that idea. That's really, really, really what skyrocketed my ability to see the similarities, understand things, understand where authors are coming from, why a certain idea means a certain thing, why this is a certain way, the context behind things. And I think that really, really, really aided me in my ability to just recall things, my ability to pull from different sources, my ability to compare and contrast and see that, you know what, this author said it in this way, but it's very, very, very similar to this. And I think this is something I'm going to expand in more videos. Like I said, I'm going to talk about the Platonic idea of forms, the importance of Socrates, the comparison between Nietzsche and Emerson, and all sorts of things that really, really, really benefited me through my course of my studies. But, really just I want you to start understanding if you can take away one thing from each work, that is all you need to do, because a whole lot of books say the exact same thing. Frankenstein is just Faust. There is the eternal idea of a man selling his soul, giving up what he already has for the sake of something better, and regretting it. Think of any Shakespearean tragedy, they all follow this, and that's what we need to start picking up on. It's the themes that are important. It's the cyclical ideas that are fundamental to human existence that we need to start understanding, because once we understand this, we can understand any story. Once we understand the basics of philosophy, we can understand any philosophy. Once we understand the basics of religion, we can understand any religion. Once we understand the basics of his psychology, and it goes on and on and on and on. So start seeing the similarities between different ideas. Start seeing how certain authors that are diametrically opposed will say the same thing. And on top of that, start seeing your own hypocrisy. Start seeing authors' hypocrisy. Start seeing where they disagree with themselves, and try to come to grips with it. Try to understand where this misunderstanding is coming from. And if you go about it this way and you just keep reading books and you just keep at it, I think in no time it's going to be a very different person that you look at in the mirror. It's going to be a very different, sort of thought process as you go through life and as you tackle life. And that's really the point of this. Why do we read books? Why do we try to experience more? Why do we try to put someone else's perspective into our own heads? It's to expand our own perspective. It's to get smarter. It's to be able to better adapt to problems. It's to understand more about life. It's to, in some way, face the world in a different space. Because if you continue to go at life the same way you're going at it, I promise you're going to get the exact same results. But if you change the way you're going at life, then you can change the way life goes at you. So with that said, hopefully this was something that was beneficial. Hopefully this is an idea that we'll return to, and we'll start expanding in more capacities. And I will certainly go through ideas that stuck out with me in various genres of literature through various different authors. And really just trace back the origins and the lineage of certain ideas. So yeah, with that said, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. I don't know what to say about sport. It's cool. Thank you. I can't say it enough. I say it at the end of every video, but I promise you guys it means much more to me than I could ever say. So yeah, peace out. Love you guys. Catch you in the next one.